If your prompt is vague, Copilot has to guess. And on AB-730, guessing is usually where the wrong answer starts. A weak prompt says, "Make this better." That might produce a polished paragraph, but it does not tell Copilot the business outcome, the source to trust, the audience, the format, or the risks to avoid. A strong prompt is closer to a work order. It tells Copilot what job to do, what material to use, what boundaries matter, and how success should look. The exam is not asking whether you can write clever prompt poetry. It is testing whether a business user can give Copilot enough information to produce a useful, safe, reviewable result. The official prompt domain includes effective prompts and appropriate prompt resources. That means the best answer usually reduces ambiguity. It clarifies the task, names the right source, gives constraints, defines the audience, asks for a useful format, and leaves room for verification. Think of the prompt as a business work order. A work order does not just say, "Fix it." It says what is broken, where the materials are, who the result is for, what rules apply, and what finished looks like. If the task is to summarize a customer research report, say that the goal is a summary, name the report as the source, describe the audience, set the length, and ask Copilot to flag claims that are not supported by the report. That is not overcomplicating the prompt. It is telling Copilot how to avoid inventing the job. Use a 6-part pattern: goal, context, source, constraints, audience, and format. The goal says the job: summarize, compare, draft, rewrite, analyze, extract, or plan. Context explains the business situation. Source says what Copilot should use: a Word document, PowerPoint deck, spreadsheet, Teams meeting transcript, Outlook thread, SharePoint file, web source, or approved reference. Constraints define boundaries. Audience shapes tone and vocabulary. Format makes the answer usable. That pattern is the core of this lesson. AB-730 questions often hide the answer in the source requirement. If the task is to summarize a policy, the right prompt should point Copilot to the policy. If the task is to recap a meeting, the right prompt should use the meeting transcript or notes. If the task is to analyze a budget table, the right context is the spreadsheet, not a generic chat. So when you read a prompt scenario, ask, where should the answer come from? The closest approved source usually beats a broad, unsupported request. Here's the contrast. Weak prompt, make this update better. That tells Copilot almost nothing. Better for whom? Shorter or more detailed? More persuasive or more neutral? Should it preserve every fact? Should it remove confidential details? Stronger prompt, rewrite this customer update for an executive audience. Keep the core facts unchanged. Use a professional, direct tone. Limit the result to 3 bullets and 1 recommended next step. If a claim is not supported by the source text, flag it instead of adding it. That is the AB-730 move. Improve the instruction, not just the wording. Practice checkpoint. A project manager wants Copilot to create a 1-page executive summary from a Teams meeting and a linked project plan. Which 2 prompt details are most important to include? A. Ask Copilot to use the meeting transcript and project plan as the source material. B. Ask Copilot to make the answer exciting and add likely next steps from general knowledge. C. Specify the executive audience and request a concise summary with decisions, risks, owners, and deadlines. D. Ask Copilot to ignore the source documents if a faster answer is available. Lock in your answer. The best answers are A and C. The task depends on the right source, and the output depends on the audience and format. B invites unsupported invention. D is the opposite of source-grounded prompting. Remember the formula. Goal: what job should Copilot do? Context: what business situation explains the task? Source: which file, meeting, message, spreadsheet, or approved reference should the answer use? Constraints: what boundaries should the answer follow? Audience: who will read or use the result? Format: what shape should the answer return? Review: what should the user check before acting? That formula turns Copilot from a guessing machine into a business assistant. Next, we move from writing one strong prompt to managing prompts and conversations over time.